Friends, this is Kenneth again from Sinza Goats, or Sinza Breeding. Today, I'm coming to you again to talk about how to start a goat farm. Previously, I've told you about why you should start goat farming. I've told you how to select goats to breed with. I've also told you about how to buy goats. You know, you've seen me in South Africa buying goats at auctions and at farms. But I have received many questions from a number of you asking me, what do I need to start with? Actually, many of you go as far as saying, how much money do I need to start a goat farm? I may not answer directly how much money you need to start with, but I will tell you the key ingredients before you start goat farming. And based on your location, you can now calculate the money you may need. Or based on your objective, you can calculate how much money you need. So what does it take to start a profitable goat farm? One, and most important, is passion. Do you really like goats? You see me, I breed goats, I breed sheep, I breed dogs because I love these things. These things make me happy. I actually call it my sustainable recreation. When I come here, my farm, look at my sheep, these and goats, these are my breeding males. If you look at my breeding male, that's Visa, that's Run, that's New, and probably the best Savannah goats in the country. That's one. Those are our sheep. So when I look at them, I feel very happy. So do you have a passion for goats or sheep? You have a passion for livestock. That's number one. Two, you would need to think about the space where to keep them. If you like them, that's one, but do you have a place? And what do I mean by a place? Do you have a piece of land, either you have rented or you own, where you establish your farm? And what do you look for in a piece of land? Is it accessible so that you can deliver things there, get things there, go to the market? Also, is how much space do you need? If this will depend on whether you're going to be intensive or extensive farming. I recommend that you would do extensive farming. That means that animals will feed themselves for the most part. So how much land do you need? I recommend 1 acre accommodate 10 goats or sheep. Some people will tell you 15 or 20. I think that's overstocking and very soon you run out of feed. But if you have 1 acre for 10 goats, you're doing well. Two, make sure that you have access to water where your land is going to be located. This does not have to be a lake or a river. You have to make sure that you have a way of either drilling for water or rain harvesting. You see our houses here. We harvest rainwater from here, but you must have access to water. So accessibility by means of transport, good source of water, and the size of land should be a ratio of 1 acre for 10 goats for 10 sheep. I want to also remind you to avoid as much as possible feeding your animals from swampy places. Most people look for water and they look for swamps, and in swamps they are finding a lot of problems. These swampy places have a lot of worms, especially liver flukes, and these are killing so many people's animals. So avoid swamps. If you have a swampy area, let it be just fenced off so that animals don't feed from there. You can reclaim it and graze their pastures, but don't graze your animals from there. So that is in terms of having land or location accessible, easy. Make sure if possible that it has a way to drain. Land which is flat is nice, but when rains are too much, that land normally is very flooded and hard. So if you have a slanting piece of land, it is much better for you. After you have the land, what next? You need the stock. And the stock you need will depend on your choice of enterprise. Do you want to be a breeder, or do you want to be a meat producer? Because you know, sheep and goats are predominantly for meat. In this value chain, you can be a breeder who produces the animals that farmers need to improve their herds, which I am, that I have the best genetics. Or you could be the one who produces the meat and sells to the butcher people. If you want to be a breeder, you have to consider one most important thing. Choose the breed. You could choose a Sanin, that's for milk. You could choose a Savannah. This one's a Savannah goat. You could choose a Boer goat over there, or Blackberry. This is also a Boer goat. This Boer goat is only 7 months old. That's one. So you could choose any of those. Whatever you choose, then buy pure breeds of that animal. No crosses. If you're going to be a breeder, you don't need to buy crosses, because people who are coming to buy from you are buying pure bred animals. So whichever you choose, whether it's a Boer or a Savannah, you need it to be pure. Then, if you choose to be a meat producer, the key word here is the numbers. Because as a meat producer, your selling price will be the basic price. Nobody's going to buy meat expensively because it's from exotic or from local. All they care about is nice, good meat. So in that case, therefore, you make money by having a lot of meat sold or a lot of animals sold. So I encourage you, therefore, to have very many goats, at the least 30. People ask me, how many do I need to start with? You need, if you have one male, you need 30 females. So I would, for the best use of your male, I would recommend that you have 30 females. 30 to 50 females is a good number. But again, when you're choosing an animal, especially, make sure that you look for the factors I told you about. Look for a broad animal, look for a long animal, look for a deep animal, and also look for a long animal. Look at that Boer goat. If you can show them that Boer goat, Moses, it's very long. That is what you look for. And now that goat has been breeding, it has lost some weight. But look at its length. You need to look for a long animal. And it's the same with our savannas. Everything is, we look for long animals, long, tall, stocky with good meat. So look for that in your animals to start with. So you have your land, you have your animals, and I told you for animals you have to make sure that if you're producing meat, you have many females. If you're going to be a meat producer, you don't need to buy exotic goats. You need only a pure bred male of the breed you are looking for. You can even mix breeds if you're producing meat. But the females can be very local. You can get many local, make sure they are large enough to carry a big baby. That goat produced kids which were 6 kilograms a piece. One was, I think, 6, the boy, and the female was 4.5. So those kids are normally very big. So make sure you have big females which can carry a lot of, which can produce the baby, push it out. So normally don't buy the young ones, buy a bit older, which are big local goats for your starting.